We're actually a few minutes early. All right. Actually, all right, let me just make sure the audio is working here. And we will get started. Just 1 second here. All right, we working? Is it working? All right. It is working. All right, hey everyone, Ryan from Ebike Escape. And in this video, we're going to be unboxing the Espin Nesta. Really excited about this one, actually. It's a brand I have reviewed before. And if you are looking to purchase an Espin electric bike, check out the link in the description. If you use that link before you make your purchase, it helps support me, so I really appreciate that. And yeah, I last reviewed the Espin Sport, gosh, a few months ago, and I thought that was a pretty good bike. And Espin reached back out and asked me if I wanted to review the Nesta, which was great because that was the one I actually would have liked to review. And so here it is today. It's winter here, so I will get out as soon as I can on this bike, although the weather is currently not cooperating. I forgot to mention, I will also put in links in the description to my popular electric bike accessories list, my top e-bike brands page, and my electric bike discounts code page, where I track all the deals going on with electric bikes. And Espin is one of those brands that I definitely keep a close eye on. They actually had a huge Black Friday sale, and I don't remember the exact prices, but I want to say the Espin Sport was $11.29. This one was down, I want to say, at $1,300, maybe even a little bit less. I would maybe have to look up because I'm not sure what this bike is currently priced at, because they do fluctuate the prices. But anyway, we're going to get to the unboxing here in just a second. But if you are watching live and you do have any questions, let me know in the comment section or the box on the side of your screen, and I'd be happy to do my best to answer your question. And yeah, the reason I do these unboxings because I need to set the bike up anyway. And so it's a good chance for people to ask me questions. This bike is actually currently priced at $14.99, and the code in the description would get you another $50 off. So I think that's a pretty good value for what you get. But okay, with that, let's get started. Got my side snips here, and box came in really good shape. It is definitely a wide box. We got fat tires on this bike, and I think a lot of people are going to like this frame, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to review it, because I think it will be popular with folks. Always like the accessible frames. This is a step-through frame. You'll see in a second. I did opt for the blue color. I think it comes in a greenish color as well. Got a little glue on there. And there it is. Okay, let's see here. Maybe if you want to hop over here. Definitely going to be a heavy electric bike, so we'll see. This is always a fun part. Let's see, got something good to grab? Yeah. I'm going to try to grab this. All right, we're going to go in front. Take those.
Rack?
Yeah, so I believe with the Sport, the bike did not come with the front rack. But for some reason with the Nesta, they are including it. So I guess maybe that justifies the slightly more expensive price. Anything else in there?
Yep.
Oh, good. Another Espin box here.
That's it.
All right. Let's crack this open. All right. We have Peter says this is the low step through model. Yes, that is correct. You'll see it here closer in a little bit. Okay, so we do have, I don't think, does the Nesta fold? I didn't think it did. It does fold. I guess I forgot about that. So this is a folding electric bike. I saw the folding pedals here. So these are the Welgo folding pedals. These are the metal pedals. Welgo, definitely a brand that I see a lot. And yeah, these are, they'll get the job done. These actually feel pretty good. You do have to push them a little bit to get them to fold. Though just because this bike can fold doesn't mean necessarily that you need to fold it in order to buy it. That's what I tell a lot of people. We do have an owner's manual here. Basic information going through the LCD screen. And we do have the D-Power. This is a 2-amp charger. I'm almost certain of it. Yep. 2-amp charger. We do have a nicer wrench there. Put the pedals on. And let's see. They also give you this multi-size wrench. I don't usually use these. They may be sometimes more hassle than they're worth. And we do have a multi-tool, though I do have my own tools here. Just because some of these tools that come with these bikes are not necessarily the nicest. So I like to use my own a lot, but nice that they give you the tools nonetheless. And there's the inside of the box. See where everything was. Okay, let's see here. And again, if you are just joining us, this is the Espin Nesta electric bike. Link in the description if you want to help support eBike Escape if you're looking at purchasing it. We have the front light with the mount, and we'll get this installed eventually. Basic light. All right, I think what I'll start doing here is taking off some of the other packaging here. Usually like to get the front wheel separated first, and definitely a pair of cutters for the zip ties is extremely handy. There's that seat. Got a front fender here. Plastic fender. And like I said, I have a handful of reviews that I am currently working on and just waiting for another decent day. Get out and do some more riding and filming, and definitely cooling off. Pretty cold today. It was 14 degrees. So this color is more of a dark blue, I'd say. Still looks pretty sharp in my opinion. See, we got the battery here by the seat tube. Integrated rear light. I think this might be the same rear light that was on the Sport, but one of the things that I really liked about the Espin Sport is the brakes on it. So it is one of the most affordable electric bikes that I'm personally aware of that comes with hydraulic disc brakes. And so I think you're getting some value there. They're not high-end hydraulic disc brakes. I don't think it would be really feasible for a company to be able to do that. But they're decent enough to feel like an improvement over mechanical, in my opinion. So That's why I was a fan of that bike. Still got this front tire on here. Man, it's always, you think you're getting a smaller bike when you buy like one of these 20-inch bikes, but 20 by 4-inch tires, super fat tires, and yeah, they're fun in the snow. I can tell you that much. Went out yesterday in the snow. This needs a battery with more capacity, too much motor for just a 10.4 amp hour battery. Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of bikes at this price point now that are coming with 10.4 amp hours. Let's see. Actually didn't realize that. I thought it was a 14 amp hour, but it is 10 and a half, 10.4. So depending on how much range you actually want, I feel like there's definitely a lot of people who definitely don't need that kind of range on the electric bike that they decide to purchase. But some people do go out on longer rides. Can certainly understand that. Nice frame. Really looks sharp. And I feel like, I used to really think of the $1,500 price point as getting, a decent sized battery and things like that. But prices have been increasing. So I feel like, more and more you're seeing these bikes at the $1,400, $1,500 price point, and they maybe don't have 14 amp hour batteries. And I would say with this bike, they had it on a great sale. So if you're looking at purchasing this bike, you can already get $50 off in the description with my code, but they perhaps might have better deals. Like I said, I'm pretty sure for Black Friday, this was at $1,300, and I think that's a really nice price for what you're getting. We'll see in our full review, but let's see. Just taking some more of the packaging off. This does have hydraulic disc brakes. That's really nice. Integrated or included rack, I should say. Usually I'd put the front tire on, but these handlebars might be pretty easy to install. One of the nice things about some of these folding electric bikes, let's see here, I need a little bit more slack. Maybe I'll go down with it. Should be able to get the full extension, but and I should mention, I am not a professional as far as a bike mechanic goes. These cables seem really short, like they do not give you enough slack here, and I wonder, we'll see how this goes when I get those fully installed. Go ahead and check the comment section in just a second. Again, if you are just joining me, let me know if you have any questions about this bike. Espin Nesta, currently priced at $1,500, though they tend to run sales very often. This is my kind of bike. Low profile, chunky frame, and love the rear and front rack. If it was available a year ago, I would have went for this model instead of the Rad Runner Plus. No regrets. Love this bike. Thanks for joining again, Luke. Always fun to see same people checking out unboxings. I know it's not the most exciting content out there, but I guess if you're shopping for an electric bike, it's a great chance to catch me. I get a lot of emails, and it's pretty hard for me to stay on top of that. I do try to respond to everyone, but just might not be in a timely manner. Usually I try to focus on getting more riding footage and editing if I'm editing a video. Okay, let's see. Just trying to figure out what I want to do next. I think I will put the, actually I didn't see a front quick release skewer yet, so maybe I'll wait till I see that before I, might be zip tied up here. I did not see it in the components box. Hopefully there is one. Might be zip tied to the wheel. Let's see. Don't see that. Not down there. Not by the handlebars. Not by the fender. Let's see. This is just the rack. Interesting. Gonna check inside the box quick, make sure it didn't pop out of here. Okay, that would be very odd if they didn't include that. And it would be a first. Actually, aha, it is not a quick release. That is why. That makes more sense now. They do have some nice protectors though on this front wheel. And so there are bolts here. I do prefer the quick release, but not the end of the world, just something to keep in mind. But I guess if you're using a folding electric bike, let's see here, how am I gonna, maybe, just trying to get this other bolt undone here. There we go, broke that one loose. Just a bit tricky with these. Almost need pliers or something to hold the axle. Let's see, how can I do this? I think if I have a slightly bigger wrench, I might be able to make this work here. So just a second, bear with me. All right, let's see. What do you think of the Espin Arrow? Will you be getting that one? They've got a crazy sale. You buy one Espin, get an Arrow for $3.99. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I have not looked at the complete specs of that particular bike. But yeah, 2 bikes. So you have to buy any Espin that you buy. Can you get the Arrow for $3.99? That seems like a really good deal. All right, this should work. Yeah, so the arrow, I believe, is it a single speed? I think so. There we go. Now I've got these loose. All right. Quick release bad in NYC, I think, if you have the bike outside. Yeah, and of course you can get the locking skewers as well. How are the welded joints on this bike? I'll take a look in just a second. My e-bike sleeps with me in the apartment. Got a tarp and carpet on the floor for the winter months. We used to bring our rad wagon in to our family room as well when we had a little bit more space. Yeah, so that's a pretty good deal. I mean, so I have been impressed with the Espin Sport, and what I don't know and haven't heard, I haven't heard anything positive or negative really, as far as support from the company. So that's always something to keep in mind. So the bike wise, I mean, the Espin Sport, I thought it was a great bike. This one looks pretty nice as well. I'm checking out the welds here. Up here in the head tube look really smooth. Not sure how they're able to get it that smooth. I mean, this almost looks almost as good as like the Aventon bikes. You do see the weld points down here by the folding point here, but not anything unlike I've seen on other electric bikes. So hopefully that helps you at least a little bit. All right, now I have to take off this piece of metal here by the front fork, which sometimes I think this one hopefully will come off very easy. Whenever I'm assembling these, you just never quite know. There is a piece in front of or in between the hydraulic brakes. Don't want to push the brakes until you have your wheel. These are 160 millimeter disc rotors. All right, we'll see how easily I can get this on here. Lift up. Try to get it straight on here. It's actually the second bike that I had assembled today. I actually worked with Matt today. If you've seen any of my recent videos, had Matt assemble an electric bike for me, the V-Volt Sirius bike. That was a fun one. And so that video should be out somewhat soon. Work on getting that edited. Sometimes with these bolts, it's just a little tricky. I got one side in. And I will say, so with the Espin Sport, the bike they sent me did have a bent front fork. Well, a slightly bent front fork. So it was a little tricky for me to get the wheel on the Sport. I was able to pull it apart a little bit, and I rode it like that for a while. But they did agree to send me a replacement fork. They paid for it to be installed. Had Matt over at All About Bikes take care of that for me. And I understand that, as a bike reviewer, they want to keep me happy, but I would hope that they would do the same for regular customers. So that's kind of the extent of my experience with Espin's customer support. And of course, customer support is, a big factor, or should be a big factor in your purchase, without a doubt. So I personally haven't spent a lot of time doing research. Facebook groups are usually good unless they're run by a company. Reddit, Electric Bike Review has forums on brands, so you can do a search there just to get an idea of what other people have been happy. And I would say a good majority of the bikes that I review, most of the times, I'm not going to agree to review a bike if I don't already think it's a good value. There are some here and there that I'll take a little bit of a chance on that I think might be just interesting. All right, I think I got that tight enough. Like I said, not a bike mechanic, so this is not a tutorial. Again, if you're just joining me, feel free to ask questions. I will check them here in just a second. And again, link to this bike in the description. All right, let's see. I will say this looks like the same display as on the other one. And I want to say, it's hard to remember because I see so many displays. I want to say that this display doesn't look great during the day. Where is Espin located? Good question. I am not sure. Sorry, I'm not sure on that one. When I have sent them messages, though, they do seem pretty responsive as far as getting back to me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw these pedals on and see if I can find the correct one. Usually they're stamped somewhere, and I can't remember where they are in this one. So stamped left and right somewhere. Looks like at the edge of here, super small lettering. That's the left pedal, so this should say right on it. Yep, it sure does. So the right one is going to thread on normally, righty-tighty. And my buddy Matt, who assembles all bikes, always recommends putting a little grease there. You'll notice that I am not, but probably a good idea to do so. And again, folding, push in, rotate up. And these feel a little smoother than the last while goes. Just kind of got to snap them in place. All right, let's do the next one. So lots of similarities on this bike compared to the Sport as far as display and controls. Not sure about brakes, but I think they're unbranded on the Sport. This is a really large rear rack. Kind of blends really nicely with the frame. So that's kind of nice. They do have a like a controller box over here. It's kind of hard to tell from that side, but on this side, you can see that they have a box where they put the controller. So external battery, but the controller is kind of housed. Let's see. Okay. So reverse thread on the left pedal. Obviously a different motor on this bike. I think it's a 750 watt if I remember correctly. I might be wrong on that. Don't quote me there. Let's see, fenders, front rack, light, and yeah, let's see. So there is, it's very interesting with these cables because you have a little bit of flexibility, but I feel like you kind of need to tilt, like I probably need to tilt the brakes down in order to get, if I wanted to raise these. So that's kind of interesting on this bike. I can stand over it and, I guess you don't even really want to go much taller than that anyway. At least I wouldn't. So, I mean, there's just a little bit of adjustability, I feel like there. Maybe if you're really tall. You have the left-hand thumb throttle, the nice, it's a little easier one. Kind of like this one. Seen that on a few bikes. Obviously, the nice step-through design. All right, let's get that fender in. I'll check some comments here. All righty. Hello, I was going to get the Espin bike on Black Friday, but I decided to go with the Magicycle Cruiser. Hope I didn't make a mistake, still waiting on it to get delivered. Well, I guess the good news is Espin doesn't really sell a fat tire electric bike with 26-inch wheels, so if that's what you wanted, I think that's totally fine. I know Magicycle, from my understanding, is improving the brakes on their new bikes that they're shipping out, so maybe you'll be lucky and get the better brakes. Luke says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Wish you all the best. Keep warm and keep up the great informative content. Thank you. That's very, very nice of you. I didn't think I would be reviewing this too many bikes this time of year, but
yes, 3 degrees out.
It's 3 degrees out, my wife says. So, okay, I need a small wrench and I need this light. We have to figure out how this works. Like I said, it's just going to be the next nice day. I'm just going to, I might have to do it from the other side. I'm just going to go outside and get as much filming as I can done. All right, I think usually the fender goes on the rear, so we'll see how that works. And small wrench. My wrench is here. Kind of funny, I haven't had to use a Allen key just yet. I will here in just a second, but pretty, this is the right size. Nope. I think it's must be a 10. And I guess I'll use their tool since I have it handy here. So yeah, I think I'm getting ready after these few bikes that I have yet to review. Once I'm done with those, I think I will be ready to move on. We'll do some like winter riding tip, kind of the gear I ride in, and we'll do some snow riding videos. We have some chains to put on some fat tire bikes, so that'll be a lot of fun. And I have some accessory videos that I can obviously do inside, bringing the bike inside. So we'll go ahead and do some of that. And yeah, that's kind of the plan. But we still have a lot of videos in the works still, and so definitely more reviews coming. All right, get this there. So while it doesn't come with a 14 amp hour battery, I still feel like the value is pretty good, especially if you buy this bike on sale. As I apologize, I forgot who posted in the comment section that if you buy a Espin bike, I guess whatever model, you can get the Arrow, which I think is their single speed bike, for $399. So you're basically getting 2 e-bikes for $1,900 if you get the Nesta, or I don't know what the Sport currently is at, but that one has been around the $1,300 price point. Like I said, their Black Friday deals were just phenomenal. And there's still a few companies who still are offering pretty good deals. If you just go to ebikeescape.com and click our Cyber Monday, I still have the post up. I have to take it. It's on the front page. I have to take it down from the front page, but there might be still some deals going on. Pretty sure Rad still has some deals going on. So definitely not a bad time to buy an e-bike, especially who knows what spring's going to look like as far as availability. And I always tell people, if you can get a good deal on a bike now and there's something you really like next year, potentially you could still, sell whatever bike you bought at a great deal and get, if it's a new model or whatnot. So, or I always tell people, if you can start riding right now, you might as well get a bike, because getting outside and getting some exercise, whatever your use case is. It's just hard to beat. All right. A little bit tricky. I should have used my tool to get this in here, but this will work. Just not a lot of clearance with this light. And I don't want it to fall down. So that feels pretty good, pretty snug. All right. We'll worry about this cable. So you got the nice internally routed cables here entering the bottom of the down tube. Pretty clean electric bike, especially when you consider, the batteries external. The rest of the cabling is pretty nice. So I'm just trying to figure out, I guess I'll wrap this. Definitely want to zip tie this somehow. Maybe I'd even go up into this. They have a nice neoprene sleeve. That's pretty nice. That's nicer than you see on some electric bikes. Maybe I can just kind of get this cable up there. And for now, this sleeve has like a zipper on it. And yeah, it looks pretty nice. I always like when companies spend a little bit of time doing some nice cable management. All right, and then we'll get the rest of those fenders installed, and then I'll kind of talk about some of my other thoughts. Let's see, what do we need? I'm just going to use my Top Peak tool that I really like using. I will check the comments again here. Let's ride in 3 degrees. Yes. What are you getting your wife for Christmas? Oh, I'll get back to that. Luke says it's -6 degrees in Quebec. That's definitely colder than it is here. But yeah, what am I getting my wife? Well, we don't really do presents. We're gonna have a baby. So yeah, she's pregnant, so I guess she's getting a baby. So that's what we're getting for Christmas, and I'm happy with that. Feel like we're kind of at the point where we just don't need a lot. We've got anything that I would get bike related, I already have. So I think at this point, we just don't want more stuff. And really right now, bikes are kind of overwhelming our garage, and we have boxes double stacked that need to be recycled. And so it kind of pains me to think about getting anything new. So that's my thoughts. Every time I feel like I put a bike into storage, it seems like another one gets delivered. But as far as I'm aware, no other e-bikes are on the way. So this is likely going to be it for the rest of the year, though. You just never know. There are some, I will tease out, there are some exciting bikes coming out that I can't talk about. So stay tuned. One of the nice things, if you are a watcher of the channel and you're subscribed, I really appreciate it, because we're definitely getting a little bit more attention from brands that perhaps weren't very much interested in working with me before, that now are. So that's really great to have that, because let's face it, there's a lot of e-bike brands out there, but there's also a lot of mainstream brands that there's a reason that people buy from them, and I want to be able to talk about those mainstream bikes too and review them. And so that's been really great. So I really appreciate everyone's support for sure. Now, what I probably should have done with this fender install is put it in its highest position. The clearance might be okay. We'll see here. And maybe since don't have any exciting Christmas gifts, maybe everyone wants to share something that they're looking forward to getting, or they bought themselves, or maybe if you want ideas for holiday whatever Christmas presents. I do have a guide on our website that I've been slowly trying to update that has a lot of good items listed that if you're looking for something or just to give other people ideas, whether it be like a helmet or suspension seat post, or I have some other unique items on there as well. I'm trying to remember all of them. Even like, this little multi-tool, I should add this to that list. There's a lot of like small things that are, definitely nice to have as someone who owns an e-bike. So, external lights, and feel like people who enjoy e-bikes, there's plenty of things to consider buying for an e-bike enthusiast. All right, once I get this installed, I'll check the comments again. Just trying to bend this one out. Just got slightly bent in shipping. And yeah, so you got plastic fenders on here. Nothing wrong with that. Just a little tricky, need a wrench and a Allen key. Trying to avoid touching the disc rotor here. Could buy a seat for Christmas. That makes a difference. The Sennas, those are that might be my top recommendation if you don't have a helmet. The Senna the Senna like R1 Evo, or I guess they sell R2s now, but I guess my pick would be the M1 Evos. Those are just, if you ride with someone, they're just a game changer. But if you already have a helmet, the Senna Pies are really great. They're a little bit pricey at $100 each, but it is a great gift. I love those. Let's see here. A baby, congrats. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can I borrow a bike? If you lived in Wisconsin, you'd be more than welcome to borrow a bike. Are any of the bikes coming out dual motors? No, sorry. I do want to really review the Uniro dual motor bike. I just love the dual motors, especially living here in Wisconsin. JT, who you maybe have seen featured on this channel before, is borrowing or has been borrowing the old Uniro all-wheel drive bike that isn't as powerful, but in my opinion is still plenty powerful. And he took his kids on it today, pulling them on a sled, I assume, and said it was a lot of fun. You'll need a trailer for the baby for next spring, summer. I do have a Burley, so that is one option. And we also can put a second Thule maxi seat on the Rad Wagon. So that's a good option, though. The baby's due like mid-January, and our current son wasn't able to fit on that seat comfortably, just like being able to hold himself up till about 9 months. So we'll see. Always wondered if you send back all the e-bikes after your reviews. A lot of the e-bikes you unbox lately. It depends. There have been bikes that we ship back. With a lot of the big brands, say like a Specialized or something, they're definitely going to want that bike back. But other brands, no. I mean, I don't prefer shipping them back. It's honestly a big pain, and bikes can get damaged very easily. So it depends on the brand. I would say 90% I'm keeping, but other times, yeah, we shipped them back or taken them back to a bike shop to have them ship it back, which is also fine because then I don't have to deal with it. Less and less I am wanting to deal with any maintenance items with these bikes. Okay, so we got the fenders on, got the light on. I was just checking out the front suspension. Go ahead and push down on that. The handlebars are already installed, so that's great. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about with this bike? Well, we could put the rack on here in a second. So the folding mechanism right here, this I think I got to push up. Yep, this folds down like so. So I would say the only thing interesting about this is there's not a ton of adjustability because obviously, you have to have it this high. So that's one thing to keep in mind. That's almost at its lowest position. Love the step through. This is like a very similar like clamping style to the electric XP 2.0. You just push and then kind of have to awkwardly like use your knee, and then the bike can fold. I like that. I mean, this is painted black, and that looks nice. And they have a little protector here for the frame when you snap that in there. Let's see. We have the battery here. Looks like there should be a capacity. I wonder if this isn't locked on. But I don't think it's locked on. I should get the keys. Talked about, yeah, the hydraulic brakes look the same. Again, better than mechanical disc brakes, but definitely not a name brand. But again, at this price point, kind of tricky to get anything name brand. So it's about what you'd expect, but I do like that. Oh, maybe it was on. Okay, let's see if the bike power's on. Wonder if there's a power button. There is a power button on the other side. There's a little power button. That's why probably wasn't showing me my capacity. Yeah, battery shows full there. I'm going to go ahead and leave the keys in so I don't lose them. Go ahead and power on. Same display as on the Espin Sport. Again, left hand thumb throttle, locking grips like those. It's the S-Ride shifter, trigger shifter. You know, it's not a brand that I'm familiar with until I reviewed the Espin Sport, but I have to say it performs plenty fine. 8-speed, and obviously we'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the full review. You can see the S-Ride derailleur down here. No derailleur guard. Let's see. I'm not sure how many tooth this is up front, but again, like they're not using like a Shimano freewheel or anything. Not sure what the ranges of that. Chow Yang 20 by 4-inch tires. This light is definitely on the nicer side as far as included rear lights that I've personally seen. And let's see. Rear brake feels a little bit squishy. Might have to check that out a little bit further. And let's see. Standard seat, nothing special there. It feels okay. Just going to depend on your preference. And I can go ahead and hit the motor here. Can't remember if you get to see the wattage on this one or not. I'm going to say no. Hope somehow I managed to get into the advanced settings. So yeah, very familiar, some of the components on this bike. Let's go ahead and install that front rack since I'm here. And let's see, I'll check out some comments here. How many bikes do I have in total? Oh, that was a good question. I don't know. I want to say 20, probably more than that. I think there's like 12 in the garage, but I have a lot in storage. So yeah, it's a lot. 20 to 25 if you include our mountain bikes. It's definitely approaching 30. Too many. We'll probably be looking at getting rid of a few of them come spring. I've been seeing a lot of people in New York putting a second battery on their bike, like the electric bike and Rad Runners. I was surprised they had 2 batteries on them. Some bike shops know how to add it. That's interesting. So they're selling that as a service. That's cool. Love to see that if bike shops are willing to do that. There are a lot of people on the Rad Owners forum, radowners.com, which I run. That's the one forum that I do run. There are quite a few people that have done dual batteries there, and they share tons of information. Again, it's pretty hard for me to keep up, but there's some really cool stuff customizations wise. And the battery looks like that battery in that bike. Yeah, so those people are probably able to, take another battery like that, find some way of mounting it to the rear rack, and then they're good to go. Those are the Shark batteries. Yeah, and the brake light. Yes, it does have a brake light. I guess I didn't mention that. So let's see. And brake light meaning when you hold the brake, it actually goes on and off. Not quite sure how these cables are going to run. Some of these front racks are just a little bit tricky as far as the cable management goes, but I'll see what I can do without. Yeah, so with some of the bikes I review, obviously some of them we want to keep for comparison purposes, but it's sometimes hard to know which ones to keep. And so that's something that I'll be thinking about this winter. Obviously, you have new brands coming out with other bikes that potentially compete with other brands. And so, there's definitely some that I like to keep just for comparison purposes. Those spaces definitely a bit of a limiting factor. They have these like spacers in here, and I'm kind of trying to figure out what the spacers are for, to handle to put the rack out further, or to allow I can't imagine the cables would go in between here. So we'll see. Not sure this owner's manual didn't look like it was specific to, yeah. I might have to, we'll see. I might have to look that up after the fact, just see how they recommend you install this rack. I mean, I don't personally know how big of a company Espin is. I mean, I feel like the reason I was attracted to them was just what you get for the price, pretty good value. And I kind of not really reached out to them for a while because I didn't know if people would be interested in them. But once I did this Espin Sport, I came away pretty impressed. So, and I mean, there's definitely other bikes similar frame design to this, not exactly, but so for instance, we can do a comparison between this and the electric and potentially a Rad Mini, although I don't personally own one. Okay, let's see how this might go on here. I'm just trying to figure out what side the cables could go on. Maybe you seem to want to fall more towards. I'm just trying to see if they intentionally put these spacers in here in order to have the rack come further out. Maybe. I guess that would maybe make more sense. I'm going to try that, I guess. Yeah, let's see. What else do we have here? 30 bikes. Yes, it is awesome until you realize that that's the same quantity of bike boxes you have to get rid of and bikes you have to maintain. And, I'm not complaining, but it is it's a lot to manage. And so fortunately, we do have some storage, and that has helped out a lot, immensely. I want to say it's going to go like that. I think that's pretty good. Could go on the other side, but I don't know if it really matters. Obviously, when the bike turns, yeah, we'll try this. All right, you can start your own e-bike rental service or bike shop. I have no interest of starting a bike shop, that's for sure. Rentals has been something that I have toyed with the idea, but I personally don't want to have to manage the rentals. So it would be maybe more of a partnership with someone else. And the other challenge is having a rental business with so many different types of electric bikes. It's one thing if you go to, whatever, a different rental place and they have all rads, right? Well, that's great because for the company, because, you're using the same model, you can kind of get economies of scale as far as maintenance goes, and understanding them and knowing the quirks and working with rad power bikes to get the fleet. And that's just one example of a brand, obviously. And the other very important thing, in my opinion, too, is you also have the power delivery, right? So a rad is, one of the most accessible electric bikes as far as, making sure that when you hop on it, it's not going to be too powerful for a majority of people. And if you had a rental business where you had, let's say 15 different e-bikes with all different types of motors and power, and whether they have throttles on the left and right, and it's a little bit tricky. There's a little bit more education, if you will, that has to go into kind of making sure that that everyone is safe, because I would feel terrible if someone were to fall on an electric bike because it was too powerful or whatnot. So, and as a rental company, you do need to cater to, all the demographics of ages of people who have not been on a bike, and, heard e-bikes are fun. And so that's something I've thought about. All right. Would it be easy to add a front wheel drive on this bike? Looks like lots of room on the frame for another battery and controller. Great frame, lots of options. I think it would be feasible. I don't see why not. The front suspension would potentially pose some challenges. I don't think it's impossible. You just need to think about it, because obviously you have, cable running down here, and then you have compression on the fork. So I'm just trying to think about to the Unirow and the aerial rider that we own. So yeah, I think you could do it. You could obviously put a controller up here, battery. Yeah. Hey Sean, how's it going? Thanks for joining me. Again, this is the Espin Nesta. I didn't think I would get a whole lot of comments for a Monday night, but thanks for everyone who's joined me. Again, there'll be a link in the description to this bike if you are indeed interested in purchasing it. Appreciate your support. You can also check out our Espin Sport review. That's more of a standard bike frame, if you will. Yes, we actually took that bike on vacation with us to South Dakota. Had a lot of fun with it there. I think that's an 800 watt peak bike, and I can't remember what they say this one peaks at, and I don't have the specs right in front of me, but you have some nice bottle cage bosses here too. I like that. Again, the front rack comes included. Rear rack comes included. So if you're looking for something that's has some versatility, man, that's a huge bonus of this. If you factor in some of the costs of some of the accessories on other models, that you get front, rear integrated lights, front and rear racks. And these went in quite easily. Sometimes I don't really like installing this because these racks, because I'm always worried about cross threading. And this was pretty good though. And this ratchet wrench from Toppeak, or the one from Pro Bike Tool, great Christmas gift if you need to give anyone ideas. If I remember, I will maybe put our holiday gift guide in the description. Okay, let's see. I don't know. I think it's just because it's on the carpeting. It's just a little bit tricky with this bundle, and there's just not a lot of clearance anyway. So, I mean, to the right is no problem. To the left, I think it's going to be okay. What I always like to do with the bikes on our e-bike accessories list, I usually put some clear like 3M tape to protect the frame. This bike is maybe not as much of an issue because it's all in this nice neoprene wrap. So something to consider though. I like keeping the bikes looking nice. And yeah, let me know if you have any other questions quickly. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up in a few minutes here. Yeah, looks like as far as adjustments, just that right hydraulic brake just feels a little, I don't know if it needs to maybe be bled. So we'll check that out. And beyond that, man, sleek, like the blue, dark blue, looks really sharp. Again, the step-through design, super easy to hop on it. Definitely going to be comfortable for a wide range of riders. Just keep in mind those handlebars are going to be a little bit higher. You can see how tall I am. It's my riding footage when I do this review. I'll try to get my wife on here, and so you can get a sense of how someone who's a little bit shorter feels or fits. And yeah, about what I expected, which is not a bad thing. All right, I will go through here once more. All right. I do Uber Eats in New York City on city bikes. Which bike would you recommend for food deliveries? Anything that would last close to 8 hours. Whew. Let's see. So you want lots of range. Oh man, this is going to be tricky on the spot. I guess let me talk you through the things you should look for. So obviously high battery, that's kind of a no-brainer. But I would also look for a bike that has thinner tires. And I would also look for a bike that you're going to pedal comfortably. I know a lot of people would probably say, oh, you should get like a moped style bike. I mean, you could, but you're going to chew through that battery. And if you're really doing a lot of deliveries, you want that battery to last. And you want to be able to go in like a lower pedal assist level and still be able to go at a decent speed. And yeah, gosh, I almost feel like maybe like a Ride One Up 700 series would be good if you can figure out the mounting point for the whatever you need. Like, I don't know if you're using a backpack or you need like a lot of space on a rear rack. What I like about the 700 series is it's a class 3 e-bike, and you don't find a lot of class 3 e-bikes in the sub $2,000 price range. So I'm thinking speed, efficiency that has really nice city tires. Battery would be, it's kind of average batteries, 14 amp hours, I think. So that would be something to consider. Something like that, comes with fenders, you got your rear rack. The Rad City could potentially do the same thing. Just maybe not going to be quite as zippy, but still city tires and efficient. A little bit different riding feel, I guess, depending if you go with the step through on the 700 series. I'm trying to think what else you might want to consider. This type of platform is really nice though, because obviously you have the front and rear rack. But then again, you have the super wide tires. So if you're really worried about range, that's going to be a bit of a challenge for you. Yeah, let's see. I think there's another comment here. I was thinking about the Juice Hyper Scrambler, but it costs like $3,000. Yeah, I mean, that would definitely work. But that's really, like you said, very expensive. I mean, you could go with like Aerial Rider X Class, like the 52 volt if you wanted to. There's got to be something else that I'm missing though. And again, the pedaling factor on those moped style bikes. Oh, happy birthday. Thanks for spending it with me. Yeah, the Ride One Up 700 series recently did a review. If I think of anything else, gosh, yeah. I don't know. That's kind of what I would be leaning towards. Get a city style bike as long as you can fit your cargo capacity on the back. And of course, I completely agree with you. You should be able to get something sub $2,000. You don't need to spend $3,000, in my opinion. And of course, if you end up doing this a lot, then you can always upgrade down the line. And you want something that's durable. And I really like the brakes on the 700 series. Really like the Rad also has hydraulic disc brakes, so you're getting some of those nicer things. If you wanted to go more affordability wise, like you could look at the Espin Sport that comes with the rear rack, hydraulic brakes and fenders. That would be maybe like a more budget option. Just maybe not quite as high end, but still a decent bike. So check that out. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up here in just a second. I will wait a few more seconds. And yeah, I really appreciate everyone joining me. And again, link in the description. I'll also put in our electric bike accessories list, our top e-bike brands page, and our electric bike discounts code page. And yeah, hope everyone has a great day. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.